You've worked hard to build your brand, so why settle for one-size-all-fits branded clothing? Lands' End Outfitters creates apparel your employees will truly want to wear, all backed by above-and-beyond expertise. See why Lands' End Outfitters has been a branded apparel supplier to some of the world's most respected brands for more than 30 years. Go to business.landsend.com/pod20 and use code POD20 for 20% off your first product. That's business.landsend.com/pod20, code POD20 for 20% off your first product.
O'Reilly! You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge, just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, your go-to podcast for all things green and growing. I'm Ben, your allotment guide, and here to help you cultivate your garden and your passion for plants. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Each episode will dig into tips, tricks and techniques to make your garden and allotment thrive. From planting, sowing and growing, we will share all the tips and advice. We will also have regular episodes talking about what we have been up to on the allotment. So sit back, grab a brew and enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. It's Saturday, the weekend is finally here. Hip hip hooray, you may say. I certainly say it, and so do you, because that means I will be back down at the allotment today. And yeah, I'm glad that we managed to do a full week's episodes. Are you impressed? I've managed to do all the recordings and get them all out to you every single day. So I'm hoping that you are all enjoying that they're back again. And I know I have been getting a lot of streams from the stats that I see, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, thank you for everybody that's sticking around and come back to listen to them all again. Hopefully, like I say now, they're going to be back full time every single day for you to listen to. And if I miss a day, make sure you message me and say, Ben, where's them podcasts? You promised us every single day. You're telling fibs. But yes, hopefully the podcasts are now back full time. And you'll have seen, if you don't follow me on YouTube already, the videos are coming out thick and fast for you to watch as well on YouTube. And again, on Facebook and Instagram, I share them to everywhere now. So you can find my videos popping up everywhere. And hopefully I am doing. So if you do see them, make sure you give them a like and a follow. And leave a comment as well if you see videos, because it does help push them out if you give a comment on it as well. So you're doing your little bit for me. So what are we doing this weekend down at the allotment? Well, fingers crossed the weather will be decent, as I've not been down to the allotment all week, as obviously I've been at work and it's too dark when I finish work now. So we've not been down for a week. So obviously, the first job will be, when I get to the allotment, will be to fill the bird feeders back up. And fingers crossed, they have been eating them all. I'm guessing they will have done. Whether Mr. Squirrel's been back eating them all, we'll have to see. But I've got my wildlife camera up as well now, so hopefully we'll have got some pictures of what's been eating them. And hopefully some footage for you to see. And hopefully I'll be able to share it online for you all to see of what I've done. So hopefully, like I said, we'll get us bird feeders filled back up, and the birds will love me for that. We've got so many bird feeders. I could literally buy a load more as well if I wanted to, but I'm staying away from them at the moment. I've got some ideas where I want to put some in the future, but we'll see about that. And yeah, I've also got my wren bird box to get up. We've got that to get up. So I might try and get that up this weekend so that the wrens can start nesting in it and enjoying it. And what else will we be doing? Well, we'll be checking up on all my produce, what I've got growing. Obviously, I've got my onions in. Hopefully, they'll have started sprouting by now. They've been in a few weeks. I saw one just starting to sprout, but I want them all to start sprouting now. I want them all to start popping through. and showing the heads and faces to me and saying, "Hello, we're growing." I don't want a duff set of onion sets, if you get me. So hopefully they've started growing, and hopefully a lot more of my garlic will have started sprouting as well now, and hopefully we'll be well under the way of growing them. Now, my broad beans, what I started in my shed, I don't know if I told you this, but Mr. Ratty squirrel had been in there eating them all and eaten all the tops off them. Now, I grow them in seed trays to stop them from being eaten when I'm growing them outside, but something's got in my shed and eaten them all while they're in the seed trays. So it's not a win-win situation. So yeah, we might have to get some more broad beans to start and try again over winter time. But we'll have a look around, see what we can get, and whether it's worth off doing them or not. But I'd like to show you how well they are easy to grow through the winter period. So we might have to order some more seeds and get them growing. But we'll have a look around, see what we can do. We might be able to get these ones back alive. We'll see. We might have to just cover them over and they might start sprouting from where they've eaten them off and start them going again. We've also got our sweet peas to sort out this weekend. I've been saying it every time when I've been doing my tour video that they need trimming back, ready for getting them to bush out over the next year. I start them off nice and early so that they get nice and strong and they're well developed, ready for planting out after the frost has gone next year. So we need to trim all them back and get them all tidied up and done. And again, I'm going to do a video about that, about getting them all sorted, ready for next year. So make sure you stay tuned for that video coming out on YouTube. And I think this weekend is going to be a weekend of concentrating on sorting out all my paths on my plot. As over the last few weeks, I've been sorting out all my beds. I've dug over all my beds now. All my beds are cleared and weed-free. They've got roots and stuff in them, but hopefully we'll just keep turning them over winter period and keeping them weed-free that way and pulling out any roots that we find as we're digging them over and keeping them hoed down. As obviously, it only takes 5 minutes to hoe a bed down, and it can take half an hour to weed a bed. So if you hoe them every week, then you'll keep on top of the weeds, in theory. So I might go around hoeing them all. I've also got this Wolf Garden tool, which is absolutely brilliant. It's like a little push-along rotavator tool, what clips into the handrail handle, and you just push it, and it's brilliant. And it's got a hole on the other side of it as well. And it seems to pull out all the roots as well, which is absolutely fantastic. It's expensive. It's like £40 for this head, but it's well worth its money in gold, and it saves you so much backache and muscle pain with pushing a hoe around. So I might do that, and I'll film a video of that for you as well, for you to see. Like I said, I'm trying to film as many videos as possible, because obviously I do these podcasts, but then it's sometimes good to see visual stuff for you to be able to see what I'm actually doing down there. And I'm enjoying doing these videos down at the allotment now, as I'm starting to do weekend blogs showing you what I get up to over the full weekend. Then I'll give you a tour of the plot at the end of the weekend to show you what it's looking like, what's growing, what's not growing. And it gives me a chance as well when I do the weekly tour to see what jobs I need to do, as I go around like saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but I never get around to do it. And one of the other jobs what I keep saying that I need to do is I need to dig my geraniums out and put them in pots and put them in my shed for over winter, because we're going to try and keep hold of them. Now, if you leave your geraniums outside, the frost will kill them, and then you'll have to get new plants next year. Whereas if you dig them up, put them in a polytunnel or a greenhouse, or if you've got a windowsill inside, but I don't want to fetch them indoors into my flat. But if you've got somewhere warmish, pot them up and look after them, prune them back and trim them, and they will grow back next year and flower next year and save you a lot of money. So if you've got geraniums, dig them up and move them indoors and see if you can keep them ready for next year. Save yourself some money, as geraniums do cost quite a lot of money. And I didn't realise how easy it is to grow them from seed. I did that one of the years. I grew a load of geraniums from seed, and it is really easy to do. So we might have to do that again this year. trial some geraniums from seed and show you how easy it is to grow them. I'm going to do another video as well on how easy it is to grow rhubarb from seed, as that is really easy as well. But obviously we don't start them growing until March time. So hopefully, like I said, this weekend I'm going to be clearing all my paths, tidying them all up and straightening them up. And then next week I'm possibly going to be looking at fixing all my beds which have rotted or fallen apart, and it'll be a case of screwing them all back together again and tidying them all up. And then we'll see what the weather's like, because I want to repaint them all. I want to spruce them all up. But if it's too damp, the paint won't stick to the wood very well. And it might be best off doing it in January time. So we'll have to wait and see what the weather's like, because if I paint them all now and we have a really bad winter, like rain, snow and stuff like that, it'll just wash it all off again. However much garden paint it says it'll last you, it doesn't. It does wash off eventually, and it certainly does with my beds, because I seem to paint them every couple of years. So we've got them all to paint and to spruce up. And then I've got a herb area at the top of my plot as well, which I don't really use much. It's just there to fill a space in, to use an area up on my plot, because it's very shaded where that part of the plot is, and I can't really grow that much in there. So I've made some little brick beds. When I was tidying all my plot up, I found loads and loads of bricks on my allotment, absolutely loads, and I made brick little beds, and I put some herbs in each of those. So I'm going to be tidying all that up as well this weekend. That is the plan, to get all that area cleared. And then it'll be a case of just sorting out all the leaves, what I've dropped from all the trees and stuff like that, putting them in my composting bin, tidying up. It's just general tidiness at this time of year. And I'm trying to get as much done possible on my plot now, ready for next year. As like I say, I only get 2 days off a week now. Before I used to work 4 on, 4 off and have 4 days off. So I used to get a lot done. So it's a case of cramming it all into 2 days and getting it all done. And who knows what winter we're going to have. We could have an absolute terrible winter where we can't get out in the garden for months and not be able to do anything. So the more stuff that I can get done now in preparation for next year, it will save me the whole time in the world. And once I've done all my allotment, and if it's still decent, well, even if it's not decent, I'm going to be in my shed getting all that ready for next year and tidying up. Like I said in one of my other podcasts last year, I spent a lot of the winter rebuilding all my shed, as it had all collapsed, it had rotted, roof pieces were missing off it, so it needed a lot of time and effort in getting it all back up to scratch. And this year I'm going to renovate the inside of it and repaint. I'm going to paint it all, get some nice shelving down, make it presentable, because I want to start filming in there and sharing tips and advice from in there. So hopefully we'll have a nice area to film in as well in the shed. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed these podcasts. If you are new to this podcast, give it a follow, give it a like, leave a comment if you can leave a comment, leave a review, because again, you can leave reviews on podcasts now. And yeah, hit the bell so that you get notified when new podcasts come up. Tomorrow's episode, we'll be talking about everything that we have done at the allotment, whether we've managed to do some of these tasks or not. What we've talked about in this episode, you will have to find out. You'll have to wait and find out and see if we managed to get them done. But thank you for all your support, as always. It means the world to me, and I do love doing these podcasts and talking to everybody. So until next time, everyone, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Gardening with Ben. I hope you have found some useful tips and inspiration for your own gardening and allotment journey. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love for you to leave a review and share the podcast with fellow gardening enthusiasts. Your support helps us grow this community and continue bringing you great content. You can also follow us on social media on every platform called Gardening with Ben for daily gardening tips and updates. Happy gardening, and until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.